long forgotten or ignored, females have plenty of surprises in store. Obedient, submissive, and always devoted? Think again. They can be dominant, independent, manipulative, and downright unfaithful. On Savannah Lane, every morning reveals new secrets. The servile knows that sometimes a simple puddle of water can harbor treasures. Here, the improbable can occur, and a hunter can become a fisherman. Rainy seasons and dry seasons have long followed one another on this stretch of East African terrain. There's a time for encounters, a time for love, then the time for parting. But whatever happens, we rarely encumber ourselves with males, or even one-night stands here. But in nature, there are always exceptions. Such is the case for ostriches, who don't raise their young alone. For them, males have seductive powers, but also good follow-up and a willingness to take on the role of father. This is Maurice, and sadly, there are few males like him. At the end of the day, for each of us, what counts is having little ones and knowing how to care for them. Let's take a closer look, because when it comes to child rearing, everyone has her own method. Some of us have opted for communal life, like Esther the elephant, who can count on help from other females to care for her little ones. Some think that being alone like Victoria the cheetah is a handicap for raising one's young. They believe communal living is an advantage. When it comes to raising a child, preconceived notions must be put aside. Do you really believe that one raises little carnivores in the same way as a little herbivore? Is there an ideal way to raise one's young? Or one mother who is better than all the rest? Speaking of little ones, the hippos are expecting a baby. I who survey the world from above know that far from here lies a paradise. A land where females have created an ideal world.
La, 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 la.
Eve and her sister Bonobos live in perfect harmony in their small community.
La, 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 la.
From birth, babies need a lot of caring for, so they're passed from hand to hand, from mother to mother, everyone helping each other. They have fun, cuddle, tickle, and they laugh. Bonobos make no distinction between offspring. All are raised in an egalitarian fashion, without jealousy, without any stress. But let's head back to Savannah Lane, where being a mother is a bit more of a bother. Here, in searching for an exceptional mother, one wouldn't immediately think of Maurice. Why would we? Obviously, no breastfeeding for him, just babysitting duties. In taking on the role of doting daddy, he hasn't noticed that he's been saddled with every baby ostrich from 4 counties. Unfortunately, males as devoted as Maurice are rare, and so most of us are singletons. Dropped from a height of 2 meters, my little giraffe had 15 minutes to gather his wits and walk. An hour later, he was already nursing. Yes, he's very capable and follows me everywhere, so I don't need anyone's help raising him. To be frank, his apprenticeship is not very complicated. Things are radically different for carnivores. Lionesses and female cheetahs don't settle for simply raising their young. They give them an education. Poor Victoria, raising quadruplets alone is a full-time job. Lesson number 1. A good cheetah must stand lookout on a bluff. Lesson number 2. Scope out your prey before rushing in. And follow a simple rule. Never stray from mother's paw prints. But sometimes they forget to listen until the end of the lesson. They've skipped the 3rd step. Learn to identify a prey correctly. A serval really isn't suitable, or anything else that looks like a cheetah. At least today, they may have learned it's best to avoid anything with sharp teeth and claws. It looks as though the education of Victoria's young will be long, very long and laborious. Though Victoria is closely bonded with her little one, lionesses happily share the role of mother. These 2 guys are at Laurent's service. Don't let their seemingly war-weary look fool you. They still fulfill their role of nanny very well. Yes, to take care of her young, Laurent has enlisted the services of 2 very devoted bodyguards. But when one has chosen the model of the extended family, there are additional responsibilities. It's all fine and well to let others watch over one's cubs, but this choice comes at a cost. To ensure her bodyguard's loyalty, satisfy their voracious appetite, and maintain her lifestyle, Laurent thinks only about one thing: the hunt. For the moment, when it comes to their education, the cubs are content to learn a few basic rules from the adults. After all, they are the only felines capable of living in a community. In matters of raising little ones, there's the school "she does everything all by herself," to which Victoria subscribes, and then there's Laurent and her sister's approach. That's the "we swap gender roles" school, where the females go to work while the males stay at home with the kids. The entire neighborhood finds hyenas dangerous, unpredictable, and particularly undesirable neighbors. Their credo is something like, everyone for himself, except when it comes to babies. In this respect, they have a lot to teach us. Hyenas have succeeded in setting up a system in which males are completely expendable. Because when one has a clitoris shaped like a phallus and a very high level of testosterone, defending oneself alone isn't difficult, even when living with a bunch of females. Now, don't jump to conclusions. The hyena's moral character is not in question, as nothing distinguishes them from males. When females cross paths, they lift a leg and sniff the pseudopenis to say hello. The littlest ones need constant attention. To be able to leave them on occasion, mothers share their care and take turns watching them around the dens, which are set up as nurseries. No one is ever alone in the baboon's compound. When the gang leaves on an outing, the females carry the young, and males act as lookouts for fear of lionesses and hyenas. As a new mother, Josie doesn't have her role down yet completely. She just gave birth to a son that she carries around with her all the time. Like all good primates, she should know that the jockey position isn't recommended for the littlest ones. Josie should keep him tightly held against her belly so that he can nurse and remain safe if she has to make a run for it. So sometimes she has to be called to order. That's an advantage of community living. For Kathy, who had to isolate herself from her clan of crazies to give birth, these last few days haven't been easy. But here's the result. After 240 days of a ballooning belly, a nice chubby baby boy is born. He weighs 40 kilos. Everything on him works automatically, guaranteed waterproof and amphibious. When he goes to nurse, his nostrils close and his ears flatten. For the moment, Kathy and her little one are stuck here, away from her group of mastodons. And they're safe. But it won't last for long, because Kathy can't forgo eating forever. There is one among us who is not yet ready to be a teacher, and who would well do to remain a student. Poor Josie. She's terribly inexperienced. And once in a while, this dizzy female forgets that her baby could drown. Josie has 2 breasts, so she's well equipped to nurse 2 babies. But she only has 2 arms. This is why baboons have only 1 offspring. With 1 baby in each arm, she'd fall out of the trees. Don't Don't you think he looks just like his mom with his pink skin and black fur? Neither do I. But rest assured, that'll change. At 6 months, he'll be olive green just like everyone else. Josie had better watch over her little one. Something could happen to him. Occasionally, childless dominant females will take newborns as their own, especially when a mother is inattentive, like Josie. But the baboon's ways are more subtle than they appear. Lucky for Josie, most of the time, a more experienced female will watch over her little one for her and bring him back before someone steals him. On Savannah Lane, no little one is ever entirely safe. Here, as elsewhere, one can never be too careful about the neighbors. Victoria must teach her young that there are lines that mustn't be crossed. And if young cheetahs only think of playtime, they will have to lose that naivete. A lioness, for example, will eat anything that comes her way, especially when someone tries to pick a fight. Recognizing suitable prey was the quadruplets' preceding lesson. Today, they'll discover a cheetah can be a prey just like any other. Victoria ends up jumping into the ring to create a diversion, keeping the lioness at bay. It's been 6 months that Victoria has managed to avoid the worst for her little ones. Once again, they've made it out unscathed. Poor Victoria, never spared from any stress. Victoria is an excellent mother. She's had to deal with many failures. If cheetahs manage to keep a brood, it's because most of them have already lost others before. They've learned to be hyper-vigilant. Whether one is part of a clan or lives alone, believe me, taking care of one's young is never simple. Like Esther, we all nursed our babies without taking a breather. But you know, being a good mother doesn't have the same meaning for each of us. There are 2 types of mothers on Savannah Lane. Vegetarians like me, who are content to raise 1 child. And the meat eaters, with a big litter who must receive a proper education. I'm a special case. As opposed to Kathy, I can leave my little one to feed myself and stock up on reserves. And unlike Kathy, when it's necessary, I can regurgitate and peacefully chew my cud. Boy, have they got it easy. As always at the lion's place, it's nap time. They're still waiting for Laurent to bring home the food. Meanwhile, the two lionesses have taken up their favorite sport again, warthog hunting.
Hey, 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 hey. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
On the periodic table of elements, after neon, argon, and krypton, I'd suggest adding the lion. I'm going to call it like I see it. Sure, it's good to cut up and make jokes sometimes. And when it comes to jesters, these two here are fit for a king. In regards to education, there are different methods, and lion cubs start by learning the codes and rituals of life and society. Don't forget that among lionesses, priority is given to the one who is made the kill, and Laurent never forgets to remind her daughter of this. As for her son, he must learn to keep his distance while the huntress feeds. Next lesson for the lion cubs, the art of dissuasion. When one has as much power as a lion, it's dangerous to use one's weapons. So today, the boys will just have to watch and wait, while the girls get to chow down. When the pickings from the hunt are slim, the one who hunts for the others must keep her strength up. Once again, the bodyguards must skip a meal. For these lion cubs, there's no rush to become independent. They can always count on their mother, and later, he can count on other females to hunt for him. This is not the case for young cheetahs. The day will come when their mother will abandon them. But for the moment, they still have much to learn. This morning, Victoria is ready to teach another lesson. The program is simple. Hunt the Thompson gazelle, her favorite prey. And she's off. The quadruplet's next lesson, the art of patience. you mustn't just nibble a gazelle any old way, any old where. Victoria must hide the prey so it won't be stolen. After exerting themselves, cheetahs are subject to hypothermia, so in the shade is best, as it brings down her temperature. During the meal, there is no established dining etiquette, as there is with lionesses. At Victoria's, quarrels are rare, and everyone feeds together. On Savannah Lane, everyone sails on the same ocean, but not in the same boat, so to speak. Josie lives in a macho and potentially violent world. In the Baboon gang, submission is the norm, and the hierarchy is in constant flux. Here, females are jealous and fight for their rank. Primipara, Josie is still on the bottom of the ladder. So when she does manage to be groomed for lice, she's so happy she practically forgets that she has a child. It's too bad for Josie that her little one still has his childlike facial markings. This drives the females who don't have children of their own crazy. As such, Josie had better watch out, because in her gang, kidnapping is all the rage. It's been weeks, and Maurice continues to set a good example, even if he has lost a few baby ostriches along the way. For them, it's always the same schedule. Run, run, and run some more, before a stop at the delousing station for a dust bath. To sum up, it seems Maurice is content to simply go through the motions of his pretty mating dance. On some days, elephants prefer a mud bath to a dust bath. Anything will do for a dermatological treatment. The main principle is to alternate them. So for Esther's elephant calf, as for ostriches, apprenticeship means imitating and constant rehearsal, trying to get the moves down just right. On Savannah Lane, one must always be wary of the neighbors. Say what you like about hippos, Kathy is a wonderful mother and very protective. Because of her baby, Kathy dreads crocodiles as much as members of her own species. But she can't stay away from them indefinitely. That's hippos, not crocodiles. Two weeks have passed, and she's eaten nothing since the birth of her little one. It's time for her to return to her group and get back on terra firma to refuel. Kathy can still touch the bottom, but her little bundle of joy is going to have to swim. Because here, males are unpredictable and attack babies when they are in the water. Sometimes it's the other females who go off the rails and forget to keep their distance. For Kathy, who hates noise, ruckus, and fighting, this is a harsh return to reality. The danger is constant, and a newborn will have to put up with this bitter company for a year before gaining independence. In Esther's camp, the skincare treatments continue. Elephants are more caring and attentive to their young. In this world of supermoms, the educational system is egalitarian. All babies are mixed together, whatever their age. Unlike Kathy, Esther can let her little one loose in the bath, even in the middle of a group of rowdy teens. For him, the best way to learn is being with others who already know the ropes. Little elephants aren't waterproof like little hippos, so they must lift the end of their trunks, piggybacking on the backs of elders so they can breathe and not drown. There's only so much time that a baby can spend in the family tub. It's so exhausting. So Esther decides bath time's over. Like Mom taught them, the teens rally round to give baby a helping hand back to shore, and Mom. Esther's going to have a long, long time to care for Junior. It could be up to 10 years before he can get by on his own. Meanwhile, over at the hyena's place, it's a little more complicated. Meet the youngest of the pack, a real troublemaker. How can I put this? When she pays her respects, her greeting has quite a bite to it. After all, she is the only baby in the world who came out of a pseudopenis. Her nursery is not really a place of higher education. It's barely daycare. Here there are no rules, just competition. One must learn to dominate one's fellow creatures. And remember that the female status always outranks the males. In the hyena's clan, the female offspring of a dominant mother is always unquestionably of superior rank. In short, It's best to be a girl from a good family. It's easy to see where she gets it from. Her mother has a strong personality, too. Now, always remember, on Savannah Lane, we are not all born equal. Here, there are only children and packs of siblings, hunters and the hunted, the dominant and the dominated. But the inequalities don't stop there. It's also a question of gender. Sometimes, it's preferable to be born a girl rather than a boy. Those who believe that all little ones are raised in the same way are mistaken. On Savannah Lane, not everyone treats their sons and daughters the same. We herbivores don't prepare our young for future rivalries or for chasing after food. It's enough for them to know how to run fast and keep in a constant state of alertness. Don't forget, when one is a vulnerable mother, it's useful to have babies that are ready to get up and go. As opposed to baby carnivores, this baby Thompson gazelle will be operational in just a few minutes. On Savannah Lane, herbivores must always keep their eyes wide open. Danger is constant. Everybody thinks the mortality rate of the Thompson gazelle is catastrophic, but let me tell you, we giraffes lose half our newborns. And it took me 14 months to make mine. My little giraffe has gained his strength, and now he follows me everywhere. He can run even faster than me, up to 50 kilometers an hour, and will be weaned in a year's time. When it comes to child rearing, everything puts us at odds with the carnivores: strategy, goals, and pacing. In a nutshell, we herbivores must know how to run, how to shake off an enemy, and charge at full speed. For Laurent and her sister, warthog hunting has become routine. The lionesses simply repeat their tried and tested tactic, and the warthogs just have to run. Once again, given the size of the prey, I know who'll be ordering takeaway. Just like Lauren's little ones, the young cheetah's technique still needs some work. On this morning's program, more fine-tuning and a final hunting lesson. The quadruplets keep close ranks because it's time to go for the kill. This baby gazelle has no idea he's part of a training lesson. It's been cleverly orchestrated by Victoria. For cheetahs, it's always the same old game, that of cat and mouse. Life is sometimes cruel, but Victoria fulfills her role as a mother perfectly. At the end of the chase, she gives the coup de grace and teaches these wild things one last lesson. Only feed after the final death blow. At 5 weeks, the quadruplets have gone on their first hunt. At 4 months, they were weaned. 3 months from now, they will attempt their first solo kills. By then, they'll be 1 year old. Unlike lionesses, Victoria makes no distinction between her sons and daughters. Whatever happens, she'll watch over them all for a few more months, then she'll disappear. A lion cub's destiny is not the same for a little female as for a little male. Lauren's son is 6 months old and will soon be weaned. Today, he's been invited to eat first, even before the huntresses. As opposed to cheetahs, he won't need to hunt for himself until he's pushed out by his mother. By then, he'll be 2 years old, and on that day, unlike his sister, he'll be entirely on his own. Let us not forget that the future king is lazy. If someday Lauren's son sports the magnificent brown mane of a dominant male, it will be because his mother was a dominant female. Some think that hierarchical rank comes from the father. In fact, it almost always stems from the mother. Oh yes, on Savannah Lane, never forget that the future king is none other than the son of a queen. Whatever our style of child rearing or education, we are all model and attentive mothers. You might have thought that living in a couple was best for bringing up baby, but on Savannah Lane, folks rarely weigh themselves down with a mate. Don't forget that those who keep a mate at their side only do it for protection from other males. Here, survival is a constant challenge, but we aren't doing too badly on our own. I watch the world from above, and I know that far from the confines of Savannah Lane, there is a paradise, a land where females have created an ideal world. In this forest in the heart of Africa, Eve and her sister Bonobos live in a world without war, an almost perfect world. A universe where conflicts are few, and life for the bonobo is cool.
La 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 la, la la la, la 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 la.
Here, males aren't a problem. Females have worked out a plan to tame them, an unbeatable way to live in harmony.
La 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 la, la 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 la.
Regardless of the state of excitement, there's never any tension. Females anticipate all discord. As soon as conflict arises, they mutually calm one another. And some will even provoke their menfolk just so they can get a bit of comfort. In this Eden, survival, domination, rivalries, and conquest are not the usual daily fare. Females hold the power and wield it delicately. I don't know anyone on Savannah Lane who would dare look into another's eyes while making love.
La 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 la, la 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 la.
The secret of Eve and her sisters lies in two words, peace and love. So the males can just kick back.
La 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 la, la 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 la.
In their small community, isolated from the rest of the world, they can relax, put in some serious body time, and meditate. For bonobos, hierarchy is fuzzy. Within the group, the only permanent link is between a mother and her child. Life is spent fraternizing, mating, separating, and getting back together again. Nothing lasts forever. But one thing is certain, females dominate males, and sisters are always ready to help one another. Eve transmitted this philosophy to her son from birth.
La 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 la.
And what if this was the ideal role model for all of us here on Savannah Lane? A feminine world where females reign without pretending to be males.
La 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 la. La 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 la